Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yes.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
New York, New Jersey, the winners of FIFA World Cup 2026, Spain.
Did you watch football, soccer, FIFA 2026? It's a stark reminder at the end of that game that even the players from Spain, they don't buy into the left, the American Democratic Left Party.
Your reaction?
They don't buy into it at all.
That's one part of it.
It's about those players were grateful, happy, and what a great ending. And all the countries came over to America. They loved the food. They had a blast. The stadiums were rocking. And the only way you can do that in that style is in America, baby. So I'm not really a soccer person, but I am after this summer. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll ever watch a soccer game again until the next World Cup, but I'm that old guy. But you know what? I do believe a lot more young people will be playing soccer, will be getting involved in it after this summer in the United States. Today is Monday, July 20th, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show is Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. You can find us on 104.3 FM locally. You can also find us on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live, and you can also listen to the podcast anytime you choose at Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and many more. Just type in Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold or directly go to darylarnold.us. Again, darylarnold.us, and it has all the clickable play tabs for you to choose however you want to watch and or listen. So good morning. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Had a great weekend. Ended out the weekend over at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point Resort, with a huge car show. It was incredible cars, antiques, hot rods, all in between. Great people. Richard Hamrick and the whole crew from Beers and Gears. Another successful, very successful car show yesterday. That's how we ended out our weekend. But don't worry if you weren't there. It's the every third Sunday of the month. The every third Sunday of the month. So please show up, support it. Support it. $300 million in private investment. 300 good jobs in Mississippi also just released again. We're releasing so many jobs here in Mississippi that it's pretty incredible for the whole entire world to see. They're going, what in the hell's going on in Mississippi? We're bringing the jobs, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're doing.
And Governor Tate Reeves are partnering with the Rankin First Economic Development Authority for a new facility that will create hundreds of jobs. A groundbreaking ceremony in Pearl marked the beginning of construction for a new switchgear manufacturing facility and training center. The facility will make switchgear, which officially acts like a safety switch for electricity grids. It helps to protect the equipment and avoid blackouts. The site will also feature a training center to make sure workers learn the skills needed to deal with switchgear. The $300 million investment will create 300 jobs. Governor Reeves touted the hard work of Mississippians as the drive behind the state's economy.
We've had a great run in Mississippi for economic development. We have the second fastest growing economy in the entire country. We have momentum, and we're building on that momentum. But the reason we're so successful is because the people of our state. Our people show up, they go to work, and they produce products that the whole world wants. And that's what today is an illustration of. They're expanding because their current facility is at capacity.
This is true. Mississippi is doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi is actually doing it. If you see this live feed going on social media, please share the show. We appreciate all of you as well. We appreciate all of our sponsors as well. We'll be talking about that in detail. Our sponsors who are incredible, who help this show do what we do every single day, bright and early in the morning. It's 6:42 a.m. right now. 6:42 a.m. And that's what we got going on. Somebody said, are you on the air this morning? I am indeed. I am indeed. If you can't hear me, let me know, but it's bright and clear on my end, ladies and gents. Okay, so as we move on in this show this morning, a lot is going on in the country, a lot is going on locally, and a lot is going on regionally. As you know, we are hands down back at war with Iran for the last 9 nights in a row. We have struck Iran. We did have 2 unfortunate incidents with our soldiers. Rest in peace. Thank you for your service. You are 100% heroes. And we lost another individual in Iraq, not Iran, assembling and disassembling a war tool. Now, I don't know if that was a gun, I don't know what that was, a big gun. But anyway, that was an unfortunate accident as well. But we are back. We're standing up. Trump is determined. At this point, we don't have a choice because the IRGC and the rest of the scam artists are doing what they do. Okay, they're doing what they do, which is not good. Anything they do is not good. My text line is 601-918-8409. The text line is 601-918-8409. Please hit me up on the text line. You can get involved in the conversation that way, or facebook.com/Daryl Arnold MS, or any other place that I mentioned, including the radio right here in central Mississippi, 104.3 FM, Rankin County, Pearl, Mississippi. So we got some things to get into this morning, bright and early, and we're going to do just that. A couple more things to talk about before we jump straight in. Electrical Services and Solutions. I just passed one of their vans at the red light. The service manager over there, Clayton Pell, great friend of mine. Check out Electrical Services, Electrical Solutions, located right here in Pearl, taking care of Central Mississippi. You can check them out at Electrical Solutions and Services on Facebook, LLC, or you can look them up. They are locally owned, veteran owned, and their phone number, their information is 100% listed right there, my friends. Listed right there. Okay. One more thing I want to discuss here. Experience matters when it comes to your financial future nowadays. It really does. Experience does matter. Economic cycles come and go. That's what happens. Markets out there, the stock market, all that everybody's talking about it every day. They rise and fall, and the headlines do, in fact, change every single day if you haven't noticed. That's why it's definitely worth your time learning from a company that's been actually helping Americans understand and educating you, okay, on precious metals for more than 4 decades. Swiss America has been educating Americans, and they also offer this report, no obligation, no money involved. The Secret War on Cash explains how basically inflation, government spending, monetary policy can impact your purchasing power over time and years. No obligation, like I said, just information. Their phone number is 1-800-289-2646. 1-800-289-2646. Tell them Daryl Arnold sent you from Unleashed. Also, SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. Prepare, don't predict. All right, let's move on, y'all. Let's get this party going on a Monday, fun day. Big shout out to Russell this morning. Big shout out to Clay. Big shout out to Stephen SRS. I see people lining up, jumping in on this early Monday morning. Welcome. Wake up. Wake up. When asked over the weekend why the Democrats opposed the Save America Act, which, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is going to get passed, and this is probably going to be the saddest moment in the country when an 80-20 issue that everyone voted for is not going to pass. Well, not so far. But when the Democrats are asked about this, Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Mark Warner lies and claims that there are voter IDs in his state. And that's actually not the case. And I love it when the mainstream media, ABC's one and only Jonathan Karl, who is a loser, but when he has to call out the Democrat Party himself, because they lie so much, the far left, they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves.
Now, I understand that you and I think every other Democrat oppose this so-called Save America Act, and there's a lot of reasons that you've put forward. But let me ask you very narrowly on the issue of photo ID, requiring photo ID to register to vote. Is this something that Democrats should get behind?
We have very
80-some% of Americans, 71% of Democrats say they favor this.
You know what? In Virginia, we have voter ID and photo ID. I got to show my.
That's actually not the case. I mean, I'm a Virginia voter. You don't need to show a photo ID in Virginia. There are a wide range of things you can show for ID. And if you don't show one of those, you can sign an affidavit saying
sign an
attesting.
affidavit,
But so it's not required.
Those become ballots that, if you want to contest later, can be contested. But you do have a variety of documents. But we have voter ID of one form or another.
Should that be a national standard?
Lie, 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 lie. At least if you're not going to vote for this, stop lying. Okay, stop lying. Here's a text message. Thank you very much, Jack. The Democrat Party is not political party. They're domestic terrorist almost at this point, masquerading as a political party to bring down the American people. Thanks for the text. Thanks for the text. China apparently stole 220 million U.S. voter files last time, or the time before, rather, excuse me. Why is this fraud? Historically, 45% of Americans vote at all. Roughly 18 million registered voters sat out the last time. So we can't afford fraud, you guys. We know everybody's not going to vote. Not everybody's even registered to vote. But the people that are registered to vote, they want voter ID. It's just that simple. Just that simple. People who hate America should not be in charge of writing laws in America. I mean, duh. Getting a deal. I'm going to make this a clip, I'm sure. Getting a deal at Olive Garden should not be more secure than voting in elections, federal elections. Federal elections. States where you need a valid photo ID for the Olive Garden never-ending pasta pass. Well, I'll be damned. It's all 50 states. You got to have an ID for an Olive Garden pasta pass. And you're going to tell me and the American people that you don't need an ID to vote? Please make that make sense. Anyone out there, please, I dare you to try. I really do. There is absolutely no going back now to the old Democrat Party, you guys. It's not. They're gone. They are full-on socialist. They're support full-on socialist. They're full-on Islamic. And they're going to dismantle this country. They have the plan. And Americans, please save our country. We're asking. We're not telling, we're asking. Voter ID for the 1 millionth time and citizenship verification are basic common sense requirements for flying a plane, banking, jobs, alcohol, whatever. These people have no honor, no integrity, complete bald-faced lies on air. They don't care. They don't think that you're going to check what they say. What a freaking embarrassment, that guy in Virginia. Come on. Virginia is being ruined, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's being ruined. It's gone. It's gone. Good morning to Ashley Goodson. I hope you are doing well. Prayers for you as you go through this difficult time. Also, again, 601-918-8409 is the text line. This segment is brought to you by Electrical Service Electrical Solutions in Pearl, Mississippi. Clayton Pell, the service manager. Tell him, ask him if he'll come help you out and wear shoes that match. Good luck on that one. Oh, my goodness gracious. We have to talk about this Save America Act every single day. We are so close, but yet so far. So close, and we should not be far. We should not be far. We really shouldn't. Kind of crazy, isn't it? said, I guess she missed those professional ethics classes that we had to sit through in law school. Yeah, it looks that way, Michael. Thanks for the text from a lawyer. Whole new meaning for the term. Let's make a deal, right? Yeah. I guess she missed those professional ethic classes we had to sit through. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right. Someone else just said, yeah, this one's not going to go straight to Tubi. It'll probably be Hallmark. Yeah. That's it. But, all joking around, really, all joking around. If we're doing that, if we're trading favors with illegal aliens, with illegal, undocumented immigrants, whatever you choose to call them, that's how they're able to stay over here and commit more crimes. That's how they're able to stick around and commit more crimes. Sadly, but true. Real sad, but true. It is what it is. We're going to take a break.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the Tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
The Mississippi Reunion Concert. Everyone has waited on, and we have it at Cameron's Garage. August 7th, Crossin-Dixon. This is the concert of the decades not to miss. Join us at Cameron's Garage for an evening of music. The Stevens Brothers Band will kick off the night at 5:30 p.m., followed by Crossin-Dixon at 8 p.m. Purchase your tickets in advance for $15 or at the door for $20 at cypresspointms.com. This will sell out. We cannot wait to see you there.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
7:07 in the morning. That's Central Time, Monday, July 20th on the Monday edition. Wake up, jump in the shower, get ready to work. Go to work, brother. Wherever it is you go early in the morning. My name is D. Listen, check out DarylArnold.us. Real easy, DARRELL, Arnold. all one word, DarylArnold.us. You can find all the links to all the ways to listen to this show and every full episode. Also, if you would like your business spotlighted, contact me at 601-918-8409. We will give you the spotlight treatment. Okay? I want to thank all of our sponsors as well. And most importantly, all you people that have been listening to us for years now, and that's definitely plural, years. Thank you so much, for real. Oh, was there a big soccer tournament? Yes, there has been for over a month now. The Summer of Soccer in the United States of America. I think it went rather well. I do. So Bernie Feel the Burn Sanders and AOC, the complete foolish whatever in the hell, are pushing for the ultra, capital letters, ultra progressive Abdul al-Sayed. Medicare for all, wealth tax, and billionaires are corrupt on everything. But the mainstream, which there's very few left, but the mainstream Democrats are panicking and they're flooding money to stop him. Because listen, Michigan's blue collar workers are not capital letters NOT. And I mean, why would they? Because they have common sense. Why would they? They're not buying into the socialist dream. And working class Americans across this country are rejecting the socialist communist plan. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? The radicals are rising up in the Rust Belt, but there's also a lot of people rejecting this. A lot of people rejecting this. They don't show you that on the mainstream media. Of course not, because they hate Trump and they hate anybody that listens to Trump, or they hate anybody that supports common sense. It's not even about Trump anymore. Well, it is TDS to the max. But if you compose the TDS together, with the insanity and the lack of common sense, then you're going to get ridiculous, unfortunately. And there's nothing we can do about it. There's a lot we can do about it, though, with everybody by simply giving them a ride, using ride share, whatever it takes to go out and vote in the midterms. Because we're going to be coming up on some serious changes in the midterms if we lose it. Just like the black Americans in Texas are fed up with James Talaweirdo, also known as Talarico, ignoring their concerns, and they are sick of it. And they're mad about it, and they're tired of it. But they're not scared of him. They're not scared of him. They're not scared of the socialist, the person who claims not to be a Christian.
So I'm happy to engage. We'll come to here in just a second. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you traveling in, and I appreciate you. For my people, not for you. Wonderful, and I think that's wonderful. And it's all right. This is what this conversation's supposed to be about. Yeah. So one of
so no answers. No answers. It's a freaking commie. Okay? Talafrico. James Talafrico. Look, Texas is in trouble, y'all, from a couple of different areas. It's in trouble with the socialists, wannabe commies. It's in trouble with the Islamic takeover because it is taking over, sadly, like cities like Dallas. Unbelievable to me, but yes. It's not a joke anymore. People, you have to wake up. You have to wake up. You have to. One of the biggest Democrats who's ever been in public media, not news, but public media, has always been Bill Maher. And he's being very candid about the situation. He's not stupid. He understands where the Democrat Party has headed over the last, since Barack Hussein Obama, who needs to be jailed, and where it's headed since then, and where it is now.
Living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they
Bill Maher.
Yeah, because they put it up on their platform, Democrat Socialists of America, also known as DSA. They put that up on their own platform. So you can't go back and argue about it after you're the one that put it up. You can't. Moderate, whatever was left, Democrats are fleeing the DNC party. They just are. And I mean, hell, who doesn't blame them? Who does not blame them? Nobody is fooled by the shiny new label, quote, DSA, the slapping over communism. A spade by any other name is still a freaking spade. Okay? Always. Nothing in the world says progressive like recycling 19th century ideologies that didn't work then and won't work now. We were fully, read history books, we were fully warned in the 1940s, the 1950s, and the 1960s about a communist takeover. We were, full stop, warned. We've been warned about it. It's not anything new. Here's this Abdul Sehad.
Hey, I go on CNN every once in a while and I get a non-consensual colonoscopy. And then all they ever ask me about is another country. And then they're like, all he's ever talking about is another country. No, I just want everybody to understand that there's an opportunity cost to the money being sent over there. And that is what we can have over here.
but he wants everything free. Okay. Here's one of his actual quotes. So you tell me. America was built on the accommodation of slavery. We still contend with legacy of Jim Crow and segregation and structural racism today. And that's just absolute not true. That is just a 100% lie. That is 100% propaganda. That is 100% BS, whatever word you choose. Okay? It just is. David Hall sent a text, good morning. With regards to socialists and socialism, I like the quote from the great Thomas Sowell. How much is someone else's fair share of what I've had to work for, and who decides that? Yeah, exactly. I encourage everybody to read any quote they see from Thomas Sowell. Seriously. Because, look, the propaganda is pumped up at a new level. From the war propaganda to the illegal border propaganda to the mayor of New York, Mandami, now trying to step in and not allow a international prime minister come to New York when he has no say-so in the matter. He's the mayor. Cannot comment, cannot do anything about a international person coming there. Way out of his league. I'm not saying I agree with Benjamin Netanyahu and everything, but Mandami can't do a darn thing. It's just all talk. All talk. So a lot of people are saying, like Senator Katie Brett over in Alabama, they're saying China is funding Russia and Iran. We know the very same people that are funding Russia and funding Putin's war of aggression are the very same people funding Iran, and front and center, that is China. That's her opinion. Hey, I'm not saying I doubt it, though. We're going to listen to her opinion. I'm not saying that I doubt it. Let's talk about it.
I have said over the last week, South Carolina didn't just lose an incredible statesman. The Senate and the nation and the globe lost a leader and a difference maker. Look, he knew what Iran was capable of, and he knew that when they chanted death to America, that they meant it. Look, he believed in President Trump and knew that President Trump had what it takes to create a resolution to what is happening there. He knows that when you are threatened, that you do not respond with weakness. And when you are attacked, you do not retreat. Look, I know President Trump will do what it takes to keep our men and women uniformed safe and ultimately create a resolution to this. But this is why this is so important, Shannon. We know the very same people that are funding Russia and funding Putin's war of aggression are the very same people funding Iran.
Yep. I highly do not doubt that whatsoever. Never have doubted that. Somebody's funding all this. Okay? Somebody. Why wouldn't it be China? They fund everything else against us. They hack everything against us. They steal our information. Espionage. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they be involved with just another one? Well, I believe they would be. I mean, 7:22 a.m. Central Time, going to break.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Visit msema.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
7:25 on a Monday morning, July 20th. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. All the podcasts are up after the show live, and that's Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and many more. The radio is local at 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi, at Pearl Municipal Broadcasting. Again, thanks for joining us. We're just talking about the Democrats. We're talking about the far left lunatics. We're talking about the DSA, Democrat Socialists of America, as they call themselves. We need to change it to DCA, Democrats Communists of America. That's basically what it is, period. Is it past time? It's a question that I got. Is it past time, y'all, to defund and disband the teachers' unions? It's a big question. It's a big question. It's a big question in every state, not just this state. Is it past time again to defund and disband the teachers' unions? Well, the president of the California Teachers Union says we need to be in the streets. We need to be in the streets. His shirt also said solidarity is the lesson plan, with May Day showing in his book. Well, I know there's a lot of opinions on this, and I'm going to get a lot of comments on this, probably, when it's controversial.
Back against this fascist regime, we need to be in the streets, wisely using our wallets battling in the courts, and winning at the ballot box, the center of our democracy.
Wonderful.
To fight back against this fascist regime.
Yeah. This guy is a teacher calling the Trump administration, of course, a fascist regime. But that's, complete BS, of course. Here's the real deal. Foreign communists launder money through their, quote, NGOs to bankroll anything they want. Like if they want a communist, they're going to bankroll that. If they want indoctrination camps, they're going to bankroll that. If they want your kids to have socialist teachers, they're going to bankroll that. I wouldn't want any of these psychopaths teaching my kids. You wanted my opinion? It's past time to defund and disband teachers' unions. That's my opinion. My opinion doesn't count, though, on that, but I can certainly give you my freedom of speech opinion. You ever notice, though, that the radical teachers never apologize, ever? Never, never, never. Or even discuss the dramatic decline in student reading and math proficiency since the rise of the teachers' unions. Except Mississippi's doing so well, which is great. It's great. Really good. Radical, because that's what it is, whether they call it that or not. Radical indoctrination is not education, ladies and gentlemen. Radical indoctrination is not education. But that's what they make it about. They don't have any interest in actual education. It's just politics for them. These are the people teaching your children in school. So I'm not commenting on anymore. I mean, I'm getting a lot of comments, but enough is enough. This isn't a union, it's sedition. And these people are educating our kids. Another comment. There ought to be a law regarding teachers' unions becoming obviously Marxist and communist. Would you leave your children alone with a communist? More and more. We must put an end to the madness, keep religion out of schools, abolish the teachers' union. The public teachers in this country effectively hold the country and its children hostage. These are all comments that I'm getting in 5 minutes. So do I think it's a very important subject? I absolutely 1000% do. But you wanted my opinion. That's how we started this. What was my opinion on it? Well, I told y'all. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me. That's okay. That's 100% okay. Can you remember the last thing? I'm being serious. This is my question to all of you listening on the podcast, the radio show, the YouTube, all of it. Can you remember the last thing Americans agreed on like this? Okay, like this. 83% support in today's divided America is totally insane. That's true. 83% support for anything in today's America is unheard of. That's sad, but voter ID is good for all Americans, race, party, or gender. It doesn't matter. All Americans almost want it, except for corrupt DC politicians. 95% of Republicans want it, and 71 to 72% of Democrats. We don't ever have that agreement. We never have that agreement. But yet the greedy, evil politicians in DC are not passing this. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what in the hell to tell you. I don't. Sonny Hostin, one of my least favorite people, is on the TV show The View with Whoopi, Joy, and the Fools. Always preaching on The View, nonstop every single freaking day. Says it every day at least 3 to 5 times. That, quote, nobody is above the law. No one is above the law. Nobody is above the law, as she uses her own influence over the weekend to get her son out of trouble. And guess what? It's all caught on video. It's all caught on audio and video. She is an elitist snob. She is an elitist, pathetic, far left snob.
Hands behind your back for a second.
No one.
Hands behind your back for a second. Hey, what's going on?
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
It's fine.
Are you arresting my son?
Wait a minute.
What happens if you're like, oh, maybe write this?
Well, you know, we have cameras everywhere. Normally, it's a misdemeanor charge. We're dumbing it down to a violation, okay? I know you're upset.
I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows. He's a Harvard grad. He teaches 4th grade geometry to his kids.
God bless.
This is not a kid who's ever in trouble.
She thinks she's a
Why?
Yeah, she thinks she's a... I'll let y'all figure out the last part. She thinks she's a, you know, whatever it is. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is what it is. Not scared to say it. Just like the squad hypocrisy that went on over the weekend. Representative Ayanna Presley's husband, Conan Harris, convicted drug trafficker, by the way, who served 10 years in the federal prison, just had a dead body discovered at his home. How are these people and these families becoming representatives for the United States, ladies and gentlemen? Now he's been installed at the Deputy Director of Public Safety for the Boston Mayor's office. Wow. Wow. This is who the Democrats put in charge of safety. Are you kidding me? I wish I was. I really wish I was. Unbelievable.
Yesterday, where they found the body. Presley's husband, Conan Harris, owns the 2-story home as a rental property, and the couple did not live there. The Congresswoman releasing a statement extending her condolences to the impacted family as the investigation continues.
Yeah. Sounds like full-on criminal activity. Okay? Sounds like full-on criminal activity. That, you know, and plus that lady, for real, no joke, representative, I hate even calling her representative, Ayanna Presley. Oh, what a freaking winner. The squad. What a freaking winner. Not. New York leads the nation with Kathy Hochul and the crew. Kathy Hochul, and the crew over there. Leads the nation in spending. Despite having 12% fewer students, and despite that half the businesses are leaving New York City now because they have cities of homeless people living in cardboard boxes due to Mandami giving them promises of free for all when there's nothing free. Nothing. The videos, the photos, it's all come out over the last week. That city is just tragically trashed now. Tragically trashed out. Bill Maher, we talked about him earlier, talking about how the Democrat Party was going communist and they cannot fool him with the DSA socialist when it's really communism. He said that the Democrats are cowards. It's being taken over. And he's saying, you know what? I'm leaving if that's the case. I'm leaving.
Democrats are cowardly.
Yeah.
They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new, very radical. I feel very good about like 10, whenever years ago, like I did lose fans because, I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but just, I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to want to do because it's all about my team or your team. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff, when we're cheering for the Intifada, I'm out.
Yeah. They've become too crazy for Bill Maher, who is an actual liberal and always has been. But hey, they keep on and they keep on and they keep on and they keep on. The Assistant Attorney General, Harmeet Dillon, talks about how back in 2017, Los Angeles was forced to admit in a lawsuit that they had over 1 million illegal voters on the voter rolls. That's not all. Los Angeles voting rolls have a 144% of the total number of eligible residents. San Diego County has 138% registrations, meaning 810,966 ghost voters at this particular time and moment. So, in other words, California had a minimum of at least 1,736,556 ghost voters. And we know this number's only skyrocketed to levels that we can't even comprehend by now. The California Democrat Party are rigging the freaking elections. If you don't believe that, don't know what else to say. Spencer Pratt got screwed, blued, and tattooed from that state, that city. That city. People don't want to be living under the hellhole they're in right now, but they are. Cheaters. That's what they are. That's exactly, in fact, what they are. We'll be right back.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat.
So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Power 104.3 FM.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
The Pirate.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Okay, let's get down to the point now, 7:45 in the morning. If you're not up and dressed and in the car, you may be late. It is Monday morning, July 20th. The year is, in fact, 2026. My name is, in fact, Daryl Arnold. All right, you're one click now for all the YouTube, the Facebook, all the platforms for the podcast, DarylArnold.us, DarylArnold.us. They claim that it's going over to the Senate now for the Sunshine Protection Act, where they're not going to change the time every year. Well, I think you can opt in or opt out, but most states are not going to do it. So the time won't change. It will stay on daylight savings time, known as where we are right now. There's also a tropical depression expected to impact the Gulf Coast this week. As we're monitoring that, please stay weather aware over the next week. Or at least the next few days, rather. 1 in 5 students back to education. Now reads at the level of a 10-year-old. Then college takes $150,000 to teach them systematic oppression. This clown show cost you over $1 trillion. And you're saying, Daryl, I'm kind of confused on what you're talking about. Well, let's break it down for you.
Systemic oppression from a 29-year-old adjunct who lives in a Kia. A new OECD report finds that almost 1 in 5 American college students are at primary school level, which is fascinating considering public school spending doubled to nearly $18,000 per student. Yet, according to gold standard PISA scores, K-12s are losing an entire grade level per generation. Budget goes up, education goes down. It's blowing up since COVID. At UC San Diego, the share of first-year students showing up with primary school math exploded 30-fold in just 5 years. Interestingly, fully 1 in 4 of those math illiterates had received perfect math scores in high school. In case you wonder what they're doing in school, it ain't math. At Berkeley, up to 30% of students in calculus show, quote, severe deficits, forcing professors to reteach the courses they allegedly already passed. That's Berkeley, one of the top universities, also allegedly in the world. Even at Harvard, professors say they're shortening readings because students cannot handle complex prose or sustained attention. So how did we get here? Easy. Progressives captured government schools, turning them into indoctrination centers. One study found public school swings kids 20 points Democrat compared to private and religious schools. The most progressive districts, last year, 23 Baltimore schools had precisely 0 students proficient in math. Detroit, 96% of students lack proficiency in math, 95% cannot read. Note, Baltimore and Detroit spend a third more per student than the rest of the country.
Yep. So where we are, ladies and gentlemen, these progressive ran cities in the state. And the state can be a red state in many cases, in most cases. It can be a red state. But the blue inner cities are nonstop progressive hard left policies and everything that goes along with that, which in fact is a whole heck of a lot. It really is. We're going to talk about a little story now before we get out of here today. And spend a little time just telling a little story. And a just very, very good, in my opinion, just topic and closing thought about us and what we know as American people right here in the United States of America. There's a book out called Destroying America. And the author of this book argues that the CIA has gone far beyond its original mission, and it has quietly expanded its influence throughout the federal government, policies, the media, and the American elections. Now, I, in fact, 100% agree with this author. I'm not telling you that you have to. But the book also talks about that it's just not the bureaucratic growth in the system. They argue that the agency itself has become one of the most powerful institutions in the country. Now, that's a pretty darn serious accusation, is it not? Of course it is. CIA officers have embedded themselves throughout the federal government, ladies and gentlemen. Intelligence agencies have gained enormous influence. I mean, enormous. Shaped by intelligence operations from the CIA. That's a fact. Powerful figures who challenge the intelligence establishment are allegedly marginalized or neutralized. Allegedly. And here's the big one. Regardless of what political party wins the elections, the intelligent agencies continued operating with the significant, really lack of public oversight, because there is none. There is none. They participated in the most controversial things that we know about in the history, y'all. MK Ultra, domestic surveillance, worked with journalists during parts of the Cold War through programs later investigated by Congress. They've also been criticized by investigations such as the Church Committee in the 70s for abuse of power. Now, those are actually documented historical facts that I just read. Those are facts. However, the broader claims that the CIA secretly controls Congress and everything else for that matter, and orchestrates major national events, that remains disputed. Of course it does. That's going to remain disputed. I don't agree with that, but that is going to remain disputed. They're always going to dispute that. But I'll just ask you this. Have America's, and I know your answer if you're listening to this show, and it should be any show. It should be anybody asking you this question. Has Americans' intelligence become too powerful? Too powerful. Yeah, of course they have. Has government secrecy gone too far? Yeah, of course it has. Are Americans losing trust because too much information remains classified? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. So, in fact, whether you agree with this gentleman that wrote this book or me or anybody else for that matter, you cannot, it's impossible to ignore. Americans across the political spectrum have grown increasingly, as they should, skeptical of government institutions. That's the bottom line. The real question is not whether the allegations are true. The question is whether our intelligence agencies have the transparency, oversight, and one major word, by the way, accountability necessary to maintain public trust in a constitutional republic. That's what we are. Now, this approach, these things that I mentioned, this audience listening, this encourages you to do a little bit of critical thinking rather than just watching the mainstream slop. And many people will dispute what I just said. Of course they will. But mainly only politicians will. Nobody else will. Why would they? Because it messes up their agenda. They all have agendas. They 100% all have agendas. One more, Bill Maher. He's been on a roll this week. And he's a Democrat. He's on his HBO show that he's had for well over 20 years, talking about Mississippi kicking California's a-hole. Yeah, he is. And you know for sure that Unleashed Media and Talk with Darrell Arnold's going to play that clip. I love every minute of playing that clip.
Did you know that a black fourth grader in Mississippi is 2.5 times as likely to be proficient in math and reading as one in California? Mississippi is kicking our ass in education, and for way less money. We're 37th in fourth grade reading, they're 9th. Texas is kicking our ass in green energy. The average time to get solar panels connected there is 3 to 4 months. About 1,000 days faster than it took me. Remember when I was trying to get my solar hooked up? It would have been quicker to build a windmill. Texas has passed California in solar and blows away California when it comes to wind and energy storage. How does a state with no pro-climate policies produce better climate results than a state where here Even though we have so much better stickers on our bumper Prius, whatever. Bumper stickers on our Priuses. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I don't believe the noise with the climate change.
Tell you why. Because to build there. Because every third person in Texas isn't someone whose job it is to make sure nothing gets done. Democrats.
Yeah. But really, he's right about the rest of it, though. I mean, California makes it so hard for anybody with common sense to do anything, to even own a business, a freaking hot dog stand. You can't imagine the red tape. You can't imagine the things that have to get done, the permits, and so much more that take year after year to even get anything done at all. And obviously, we're proud that Mississippi has moved up from 50th or whatever we used to be in the country to 8th, 9th, or 7th, whatever. Fantastic. Okay? Fantastic. Happy about it. Really happy about it. I'm also happy that you guys always listen. 104.3 FM. You listen to the podcast at Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Those are blowing up, by the way. Thank you very much. You can get all of those at DarrellArnold.us, DarrellArnold.us. Today is Monday, July 20th. And until next time, see ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best, where we party the right way. See you next time.